So we are going to product knowledge. We discussed that, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, with some of you, we discussed that about the product knowledge. What you're selling is very important, although it's 10%, but it's crucial part. Because again, go back to the lack of faith to your own principle. If you don't believe to your product, so you have to know your product. What are you selling, for instance?
Edits of videos.
Okay, what are you selling?
Finding the potential in outsiders.
No, what are you selling? The question was, what are you selling? Okay, that was my point. That was exactly my point. So, by the way, Chris, will we have is it connected to internet if we want to? Okay, later on we will. Okay, what is the product or service? What are the characteristics? If I say how you describe Bahman, you say this guy is with the funny accent, with the odd looking, is just hanging around, talking about all sorts of things, and doesn't know sometimes what he's talking about. But what are the characteristics of your product? For instance, if you say you are, say, video editing, it's a service, and what are the characteristics? How you can define this video editing? Yes, but that is what it say. What you said is attributes. So there is only three characteristics to every product or service. Is the attributes, we call it features. Is advantages, what it does, and is benefit. That's how it impacts you. You go ahead.
What you're selling is primarily the benefit.
That we are getting to that, yes. How you, what you sell, you are not selling attribute. For instance, if I want to sell this computer, the feature is what? It's 3 pounds, it's 17-inch monitor, it has a keyboard, it has a black, it has a battery, whatever, or car. It has 4 wheels, it's red, it has this engine, it has 500 cc engine, it has a recliner in the back, it has a hatchback, it has a this. That is the feature. What is the advantage? Advantage is what it does. For instance, if we go back to a car salesman, which many of these car salespeople, unfortunately, making a big mistake focusing on the features mainly and then advantages, is they say, oh, it goes 1 to 100 in 10 seconds. That is advantages. That is a good thing to know. It has ABS system that works on 10-inch snow or ice. That's good. That is advantages. Then there is third characteristic of each product and service, which is benefit. Now, if I ask that salesman, what is this 500 cc engine does that for me? What would be the answer?
You'd have to know something about the person.
No. We are talking about product. Right now, we focus on the product knowledge. We are not talking about the person.
Gives you the fastest car among your friends.
Okay, that is advantages.
No, in the sense that it's a benefit, in that the idea being that
It's a feeling. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, yes.
how it's going to make them feel.
He-
In other words, to say, imagine yourself driving the fastest car on the block.
Well, yes, that is when we get to the closing, we can use those kind of the phrases. But right now, we are focusing on the product.
And so if you're looking at the fast car, so if you're looking at just the benefit,
So are you willing to pay $50,000 to get a fast car to just go to the neighborhood to show them that I have a fast car? Well, maybe, but it's not. That is. Although it is a good sentiment to have, but not necessarily applicable to everybody, because we haven't get to the qualifying of the person to see if he or she is that kind of the person. We are focusing on the product and its benefit. If I have 500 cc engine, let's say comparison to 700 cc engine that is sitting there, you save some money on the gas.
Right.
that impacts your pocket. Usually benefit is focused on two things, times and money.
So you can get to backers faster.
If you get the faster, then you say, what is the benefit? You save time.
And this product comparison.
So because if you go from here to Montreal, and if you go, assuming in the same speed limit, and you have 500 cc, and your engine doesn't get heated, therefore you get to Montreal half an hour earlier, so you save half an hour. And that half an hour is important because it's a benefit to you. No, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking that in the case of products where, for instance, let's just say you look at a car, a 300cc engine is going to be sufficient for everybody. In the meantime, now even the most basic car has 300cc. So all these expensive cars are up at 500 or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So essentially, it's conspicuous consumption, right? So it's not utility; it's about people see you with this.
No, I understand that.
So with conspicuous consumption, isn't the benefit really that other people see you with it? That's the real
Well, that is, I don't disagree with you. What I'm saying is, I use that as an example of the CC engine. If you want to get to that part of the benefit, then you have to look at the outside look. Because when you drive on the neighborhood, your hood is not up to people see it is 500 cc. But the whole thing is, if you want, let's say, if it is, let's say you are going to buy a Corvette. When the person goes and look at the Corvette, then we know that person looking for show off to some extent, besides the performance. Then you focus on the benefit of the appearance instead of benefits of the engine at that moment. And then you go to the engine and provide benefit of the engine. For instance, if you want to buy a Jaguar that is 12 cylinder, and it has alternate cylinder, and 6 works, 6 doesn't, you say it is 12 cylinder. However, your consumption of the gas will be half when you're on the highway.
I'm just thinking, in B2B, you're looking at a rational basis of purchasing, right? Because of the fact that someone's buying a printer, a copy, or whatever, it's not because it's sexy or good looking or status, there's utility, right? Specific benefits. But when you're selling to consumers, isn't it primarily emotional, the benefits?
We will discuss that in the coming slides when we get to the dealing with the approach. But right now we are focusing on just product in hand. If I want to sell something or service or product, I, as a salesperson, should be aware and knowledgeable of all three elements. So that is the whole point of this, that because if you don't know that, you don't know company. For instance, if I use the same issue of the car that you just described, and I tell you the say 500 cc, and you said, let's say you are kind of the customer that you want to show off in your neighbor that I am 500 cc and it's written there. And I, as a customer, I say, oh, the dealership across the street has the 500 cc, but it sells $2,000 less. If you do not know the complete information about your product, attributes or features, advantages and knowledge, then you do not know how your competitor do. What is your competition? Especially when it comes to the tangible products. For instance, if you go to all of these dealerships, either it's Ford or Nissan, or you will see part of their weekly or monthly training is to bring and say, okay, this model is comparable to this Toyota, this model.
So know your competition is part of knowing your product.
You have to know your product first in order to be able to compare it to something else. I can have the Persian carpet who lived in Iran, or have Persian carpet who lived in China. But if I do not know my own, how can I go to the another one and compare it together? So if you are, that is why I said what you're selling. You are selling a consulting. Do you know what is the features? Do you know what is the advantages? And do you know what is the benefits? If
Let's say in the case of mine, just thinking about it. So the benefit,
let's say, okay, oh, I thought my microphone is, yeah.
so the benefit is uncovering the hidden creativity within the company.
In your case, if it is, let's say, if it is the benefit, it is benefit. But you did not explain how this benefit helps them. Again, that is advantages already.
Also, the
We are going to discuss that in the next slide, and you see what I mean. No, that's fine. Features describe the product. Advantages, purpose, or function of the product, which you said discover. Now, value or worth user will drive at. What is the value? You told me, okay, I found out that she is the hidden talent in my organization. What is that to do with me? What it does to me?
is that somehow it's got to translate to the bottom line.
Bottom line in the form of the either
either
saving money
revenues
or time or some sort of the comfort, something feeling
Well,
wise.
let's see, in this case, it would be either revenue side or cost side, but essentially it affects profit, which is the bottom line.
That is one
Yeah.
thing, but again, even affecting the profit has to do something emotionally, physically for me. That is very important. That is why that I said you have to know it very carefully, which we discussed in the past, actually, John, with you a couple of months ago about your project. I said your concept is not a product, if you remember. That was the reason. I am a CEO of the company XYZ.
Mhm.
You came to me, nice person, put all of your nice presentation for me, and you explain everything to me, what it does to me.
Well, if I can identify a specific problem.
Oh, we are getting to that. We are
Right,
getting
exactly.
these questions that help you
Yeah,
to.
thank you. Okay.
A description of a described situation. That is another thing. What it is, when should I use it? That is, describe your advantages. And now we go focus on benefit, because those two parts is easy. Those
Yeah.
two parts is very easy. Advantages sometimes become tricky because it mixes with the benefit. But with the benefit, why would I use it? And how, and is one way can it improve my life? I am a CEO of the company. Why finding her as a hidden talent helps improve my life? That is the question. You could say, well, Mr. Bahman, how it helps you if you know that your company is run by someone that you can trust and is competent enough to run it. Wouldn't you enjoy having extra day or extra week of vacation with your family? Then that become benefit.
So you're translating it into a personal benefit for that individual.
That's correct. Doesn't matter if you are dealing with
Not just his profitability, but his
No,
actual
no.
life.
Oh yes. You can have pile of money
Huh?
here, but I am having cancer, sitting in the hospital. What it does?
I
Right.
think that's why when
Microphone.
I think that's why as a salesperson, if somebody tries to ask me, how is it that you make these sales? Well, there's all of those things, but then I'm actually selling to a specific person, and that specific person might be an older person, they might be a younger person, they might be a person that likes sports, they might be a person that has certain feelings about certain things or certain attitudes.
We will talk about that. We will talk about when we get to the qualifying.
Right.
Right now, at this moment, if you are sitting alone with your producer or the owner of the CEO of the company or your own company, and we are discussing your products, you have to write down, brainstorm to find out different people with a different attitude, different feelings. When we get to the prospecting, we will talk about that, how you apply this. Because before you go to prospecting, you have to know what you're selling. and why its benefit is important.
And to whom?
That is comes later. But first, we are focusing on the product.
Now it's just the product.
Just the product. You know, it's like let's say if you're cooking. Let's say you're cooking a little rather complicated food. First, you have to put all your ingredients ready. Because you don't want, in the middle of the recipe, you say, oh, I need the onion. And now you go and find the onion, chop the onion. By the time you come back, what you put there was already burnt. So we want to have this first out of our mind. As I said, product knowledge is 10%. 90% is people knowledge, as you described. Right now, we are focusing on product. That is why it's very crucial. What are the benefits of your product? You said video editing. What is the benefit for any person, young, old?
The benefit is that they can take that video and they can use it in their email or their website.
That is good. Is advantageous. What is the benefit?
The benefit to them is that they have their message goes out to more people.
That is advantageous. How and in what way can it improve their life?
They will make more money from their product if their product gets out.
You cannot guarantee with a video.
There's a great chance that
Again,
there's
that
a
is
greater chance.
that is advantageous. I go and buy lottery.
They will feel the personal satisfaction of having their work immortalized.
That is very good. Let me play devil advocate. I can go in front of the mirror and enjoy myself and be very gratified about my feelings. How it improved that video? Should I say that?
Well, I mean, I could.
How should I say? Should I say that? Just an example.
Yeah.
Okay. Having that video reduce the amount of the money you have to allocate for the advertising. Therefore, you have more time prospecting and get more customers.
Right.
What's happened? I saved money. And that money affects my bottom line in the business because you are dealing with the business. If it is personal person, it's a personal sale for video, can you imagine or we get to the closing, can you imagine? But by sending this video to grandma, you don't have to always every 6 months or every 3 months to leave your family and travel to see your grandma. They can see you.
One question.
Yeah, please.
Thanks. Can you think of, let's say then, a business as a series of challenges or problems,
Okay.
right? So therefore,
Every business, by the way, has a series
No,
of
that's what
challenges.
no, that's what I mean. It's almost like define a business.
It is called busyness. It's not
Right.
vacationness.
So let's just say if we define the business as a bunch of problems,
Yeah.
then essentially each one of these benefits addresses a specific problem.
Yes.
And is that a way to think of benefit, like in the sense of what problem does this address?
Yes.
Is that benefit thinking?
Yeah, it is benefit thinking, but you have to, if we get to the approaching and qualifying, when we get to the interaction with people, you have to size up the person that you are dealing with to make sure that he or she understood the benefits, because you can either address the benefit like openly, or you can imply the benefit. That is the form of communication that you deal. Yeah.
That's the communication. But let's just say if we start from defining the business as a bunch of problems,
Yes.
and the ultimately these benefits then translate to the problem, and so therefore I'm also going to have to figure out, in terms of the individual, it'll be about which particular problem is the one that's closest to their heart. That
Of
would be
course,
the,
of
that's
course.
the personal knowledge,
Of course,
right?
of course, because you are dealing.
Exactly.
If you are dealing with the CEO who deals with, let's say, 10 vice president, and his problem is dealing with, let's say, the issues that those people bring, is different than you are dealing with one vice president.
Precisely. So in the process, now I'm trying to figure out the process. Is the process then is that as you get into product knowledge, you figure out the advantages, what it does. Then the next part of the process is that you think,
okay, what specific problems would this solve? And then list all the potential
That
problems.
is exactly
and,
correct.
And that's the process. And then, of course, you go from there into the subset
That is
of...
correct.
to
And
the-
that is
okay.
something that has to be in-house before you step outside
And that's
of
the
your...
process. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
that
Well,
is
that
the
makes sense.
process. Because if you notice, if you remember a few slides back, I said when you plan your work or goal setting, you walk back. So if that was the problem and that is the solution, that if, let's say you're selling your system, if your system resolves what problem?
Exactly.
And that problem affects who? And that who, how being affected within within his or her family or in business. I think our producer wants something from me. Oh no, sorry.
So
So
the first question would be,
it would be what I am, what I provide either or sell, either a product or service, how it benefits a person.
which is, in other words, what problem does it solve?
First, how it benefits, and does it this benefit does this benefit resolve the existing problem?
Okay, so what the benefit is?
The benefit is how it impacts a person's life.
So what the benefit is impact.
I mean, good impact, not
Then you have affects what problem that they
yeah,
have.
yes.
And then the third one,
Is which problem, which part of the organization, depending on
who
the
has what problem.
Yeah, yes.
But also that wouldn't you have another step, which is to say the how it affects that problem?
Of course, that how goes to the advantages we discussed.
That's the advantage.
That is the advantages. That is all of the things that you said. For instance, in your case, you said uncovering the hidden talent. That is how. And that how was the advantage.
So, but do you start with the what and then go to the how?
I personally think that if you want to have a better understanding of what you present, is you start with what you have and how it helps.
So what you have,
And how it helps.
how it helps, and then work backwards from there.
And then you walk back.
Okay.
Then
excellent.
then you can step it back.
No, that's
And
very
then if you are, then we get to the prospecting. When you get to the different demography, as you said, then you can fine tune it for different people, as you said, 20 people, 20 years old or 8 years old, or wife or husband or something like that.
Exactly.
Are we clear about the
Yes.
distinction between these
No,
three?
it's excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you for
So-
stretching it out
yeah,
because I got out
Oh,
of that.
you know, I just wanted to make sure before I go further. More knowledge, better control. Sales is about control, like anything else in life. If you don't have control of situation, and by the control, I am not saying control of people, control of situation. Many people, many individuals, either in sales or in business, confuse controlling people with controlling situation. Controlling people, you lose being in charge. Put it this way. I can try, for instance, in the domestic issues, if the husband or wife, one of them is dominant, what happens? They control another person, but they no longer in charge because the another person can go and use different way of using certain methodology to get around what he or she wants. Controlling the situation is when it is your life. If I am at your office presenting the product, that is correct that I am trying to sell my stuff. However, why I travel to you, I put my time, I do not want to let you to control my time. So the controlling the situation, when you have more knowledge, I give you an example again, as I said earlier, I give you examples of the failure rather than other sales training that they give you, I did that or that. For instance, I remember years back, I'm talking of 12, 13 years ago, I was selling advertisement for a major newspaper. And I called to a place and said, I want to meet you and all of that. And this gentleman said, I am familiar with your system, paper and all of that. Just is it being audited? Now, I know what is auditing means, but at that time I did not know what is auditing on the paper means. I said, I'm sorry, I am not sure what you mean by auditing, being honest. And he said, well, if you don't know what you're selling, I'm not interested. Hang up. What I did immediately, I went to the management of the company. I said, what is this auditing? Oh, auditing means we hire someone to go door to door to make sure that this paper is being delivered. That was the auditing of the paper meant. And by auditing, if the customer asks, means the third party, like an auditor in the accounting, has to do that auditing on the paper, delivery of the paper, to make sure this is delivered. Therefore, my advertising is being delivered. Now, because I did not know the answer to my product that I was selling, I lost the control of that conversation. And when you lose the control of conversation, you lose the sale. It's very simple. So, example is describing like as I said, like a monitor, a screen, flat screen monitor. It is dimension color, easy to read, take up less space, but the benefit is less eye strain, which is the health benefit, and more free space, which is that you are having a room to at home to move around. And it is advertisers sell the benefits. If you look at the Michelin, this is all the ads, of course. Michelin baby sitting in the tire. What does that mean? It's the safety. Safety is a benefit. Without seeing it. That is why I said earlier, you don't have to spell it out. Milk becomes the diver, you become stronger. So it's health benefit. Or Swiss Chalet, it's not about food, it is about convenience. That means what? You save money or time to cook food at home. So all of this advertising that we hear or see in the TV, most of them, if done properly, they address benefits. Cheesy ones, they keep saying, oh, it's good, it's good, it's good. Okay, you say that. I don't, because you say it's good, it doesn't mean it's good. Check your brochure. This is a couple of things. Check your brochure and promotion material to make sure you have emphasized the benefit. Sell the sizzle, because if you send a letter out, if you send a business card out, business card is rather is a little bit odd. It's just contact information, but the brochures and the flyers and the emails focus on the benefit. Here I am, my name is Bahman, I am selling, I am providing this kind of the service, can benefit your company. Microphone. Needs your notes.
Yeah, exactly. No, your notes are fine. When you're talking about the sizzle, right?
Yeah.
And not the steak. Okay, for me, it's like, as I'm imagining the sizzle of the steak, sensing the sound,
smelling the smell,
the smell,
yeah.
the connotations, that the anticipation, etc.
Yeah.
In other words, it's emotions.
Yes.
So when we're talking about the benefits then too, are we actually getting it more, as much as possible, adding an emotional component
Always.
to it?
Not only a little, always.
So it's always going to the emotions.
Safety is emotional thing. Being strong, having a good body, physical thing is an emotional thing. I understand that you say about health, but is it when you go to gym and come back, always you go in front of gym and ask them, how was workout? Feels great.
How do you look in front of the mirror? All those kind of things.
No, they don't say, look at my muscle.
Yeah.
They said, feels great. Oh, I did a stretching. I went to yoga. Okay, how was it? Oh, you have no idea. I slept sound that night. Everything is emotional when it comes to benefit.
And if you don't mind if I comment, I often use that phrase when I'm selling. I think you might feel better about this. I think you're going to feel
Again,
good about...
we are going to address that, but
Yeah.
that is a little bit of dangerous thing,
Yeah.
because you are making a supposition on behalf of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we are focusing on the product and service. Why? Because if this, you see, one of the things in sales, like even politics. You have to get the vocabulary, the pronoun, even though English is not my mother language, as you know, because of my failure to put a proper statement together. But you have to notice that certain pronoun has to be used in order to remove yourself from the prejudice. If I tell you that makes you feel good, or if you tell me, and if you don't know me, and if we are going to talk about the different characteristics of personalities, I said, who the hell she is that she thinks that what makes me feel good or not?
Ah. You're right.
Why? Why she call me, she doesn't know me, and she tells me what I feel good.
Yeah.
Maybe what right now make me feel good is not answering this phone. That makes me feel very good. So when you are talking about product, it's always third party.
Right.
It.
Right.
Remove it from personal confrontation.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if, for instance, man and wife get married or they are in relationship, they get constantly fight over things. You said that, I said that, you said that, I said that. Now,
Yeah.
if I want to deal with someone that I am rather emotional, which is very unlikely, involved, I would, let's say if I'm discussing about the couch, I said, couch is sitting there, and I thought maybe it would be better that way. What do you think?
And I say no.
You say, no, that's fine, or you don't. But I don't come and say, you put this couch here.
Then you'll feel better.
And I feel to be here. So what's happened? The couch become out of the picture from this conversation. The conversation comes back to you now.
Me versus you.
You, not the couch. But the issue was the couch.
Yeah.
So even in the political environment in Canada or anywhere else, for example, we have all these people come out as a group, like Social Justice Warrior or something like that, and they keep talking about stop this, stop that, or government this, that, he did that, who did that. What is the issue? Why don't you focus on issue? If you say something they don't like, you are Nazi, or you are anti-democratic, or you are a fascist, or something like that. But they don't address the issue. So in sales, if you want to be in control, if you want to keep the communication conversation going, you do not use you and I at this stage, or we get to the stage that you use that.
So the entire focus is on the product.
Right now on the product or service. And then how this service benefits you, not me.
Very interesting. Okay.
Because if I want to be, the only part that I can involve myself is when I get to the end of the closing, I said, you get personal service from me or commitment from me. But
Right.
again, you get personal service from me. I don't say, I provide you. I guarantee, like on TV, I guarantee that. Who the hell are you that guarantee that? I don't know you. You're just a picture on TV. What do you mean guarantee? I personally guarantee that. What does that mean? You know, they sell the, am I okay? George Foreman grill. I guarantee that.
Someone come into your home and guarantee it.
Why, what is that? If I call you, you answer the phone?
Yeah.
So, and remember, selling is about customer, it's not about you. So if this product is wonderful to me, I am not here to explain how this product is wonderful to me. For instance, I noticed in that channel, the studio, some of the guests that I have seen in the past, they have something very good, and they keep saying, it did that to me. So is it about you then? Why should I need that?
But if they said it did that for X, Y, Z person, then it's okay.
No, even if they say that is testimonial part of the, that is supporting part, it comes to the presentation.
Just
But
that it does it, period.
generally, if you are, let's say you and I sitting and I'm selling some sort of soap, and that soap makes my skin very smooth and healthy and whatever, and you ask me, how do you know that? Well, I'm using this soap myself. However, it's a good thing if anyone wants to see if it works on them, they can try it at least once. Don't make a commitment on behalf of someone else based on your experience.
Right.
So it is about them. Customer, always ask what is in it for me. If you miss that, you miss that. You can blah, 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 blah. I'm selling this. You can say, you know, up to 1980, early 80s, most salespeople used to talk about 80% of the time. And that was then good, but not now. When we discuss the customer's need and price, it is very important to know how we compare ourselves with the other competitor and similar product. And why is this important? Why I put it here, there? Because I give you an example. Just happened just yesterday. I wrote an article in a paper, in a local paper, and someone was complaining and put something on the blog. And then I start to put, she took a phrase from my article and compared it with the phrase from someone else's article in the same paper. And say these two contradict each other. Now, in business and sales, if someone calls you, let's say you call someone or you meet someone, you do a presentation, let's say for that channel, a studio about video production. And say, oh, I have XYZ video production sitting on, let's say, on Danford or on Young, and they have this product. First of all, if you don't know that, if you don't know that particular provider, don't comment on that, first of all. You just say, I'm not familiar with their company. Don't try to, like that video I sent you, they ask, did you vote? Everybody, there was no voting, but the people say, oh, yes, I voted. If you know that provider and you know their product, don't compare apple and oranges. So if you're selling a package that involves, let's say, 30 seconds commercial for small businesses, don't compare it with the package they have for 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. If you are going first, let's say, for a consulting, oh, I have seen a lot of consulting, and so if you don't know first, I don't know. In your case, you say it is very new. It's I don't know anyone has done this before. So say that. If you know someone else does that, and you are aware of that, find out exactly what is the price, attribute, and features. Not benefit. In this case, you don't need the benefit. Benefits is between what the product does or service. Just come on both, yeah. Yeah. Become an expert always. Know your product, especially when you are selling tangible product. Information resources such as internet these days, as I said. Customers now, they have an iPhone. They go to a store. They click. They browse and know the price. So if someone put a very bogus price or some untruth information, they can find out easily. Okay.